If you want to learn today how you can develop from scratch a web app using Vue.js, Github, and AWS Amplify, you are in the right place. Today I'm going to show you step by step, especially for beginner, how you can launch your first Vue.js app, push it to GitHub, and then upload it to the cloud of AWS using AWS Amplify. Very, very easy, very straightforward. In less than few minutes, you can have your own web application. So stay tuned, we are about to start. Feel free to follow for more amazing tutorial. Welcome back guys, and thanks for keep watching. So before we start our tutorial of launching a web app with Vue.js and upload it to AWS Amplify, here are the requirements you will guys need. First of all, it's AWS account, because we need AWS Amplify. Next, you will need a GitHub account. Okay, in order to push things to GitHub, it's not necessary. You can do it with Bitbucket or anything else, any other Git version control. And the last thing, it's not necessary, but if you want to register the app under your domain, so you will need to have a domain, and I will show you how you can register the app in AWS Amplify under your domain. So let's start. Step number one, it's install Vue.js 3 and Vite locally. Okay, so open the terminal, and you just need to write this command npm init vue latest. Now, if you don't have npm and you don't know what is npm, you can follow my instructions I show on the screen, and I will also share it on my description of how to install a npm and node in your local environment, so you can run those kind of command with npm. Okay, as you can see on the right side of the screen, you have a preview of the command. It's very, very simple. It will take you like 1 to 2 minutes. So after we enter npm init vue latest, it will initiate a Vue.js project, and we will start actually to create a skeleton of our project, the dead joke project. Okay, so we choose project name. We don't need TypeScript, we don't need JS support, we do need router. And next, we don't want to have end-to-end testing. Yes, let's do ES length, and also prettier, why not? That's it guys, very, very simple. And you have basically a local Vue.js skeleton. So these are the next thing that we need to do. Let's do cd to the project that we just installed. Let's install all the requirement of npm package. It will take few seconds. I just cut it in the edit. It will be very, very, very fast. Okay, perfect. Now let's run the npm run format. It's not necessary. I just did it for the presentation here. And next thing, let's run the local environment. So npm run dev. That's it, guys. Now you have a local Vue.js application running. How beautiful it is, right? Very simple, very straightforward. It took like less than like 1 or 2 minutes. So this is the skeleton, as you can see right now, of Vue.js. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna build the dead joke on this skeleton. So I'm gonna open our Visual Studio. And in less than like a few minutes, I'm gonna add a dead joke component that I already built, and I'm gonna go over with you together. So this is how basically the library of the Vue.js project look like. We have the router, we have the view. I'm gonna create a new Vue.js file. I'm gonna call it dead joke. Okay, perfect. And now I'm gonna go to my GitHub, and this is what you can do. Also, after I'm finished this shooting, you can also download all the project itself. Okay, I'm gonna go to a format that I already created. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna install it here, paste it here, and that's it. This is the Vue component that we have that basically generate the joke using ChatGPT. Very simple, very straightforward, and this tutorial is also special because you will learn how to interact with ChatGPT. So basically the component that we have right now is just a text box that's waiting for a specific topic. Once you enter the topic, it will run a request to ChatGPT. Okay, this is also the ChatGPT token that we're gonna put here very soon, and it will do a request to a ChatGPT API and will generate a joke with a specific prompt that I already created. Okay, now I realize that I'm missing one library during the installation that I forgot. This library is Axios. Okay, basically this library allowing us to do call requests to API all over. So I'm just gonna install it. As you see, it took me like a few seconds. And now basically when I'm doing the import Axios, it actually will work. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it. We have the component of that joke installed. Let's go to our web browser. As you see right now, we have home and about. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna enter the route for the dead joke. Okay, let's do dead joke. Let's put dash between that. Yeah, that joke. Okay, and here I'm gonna call the route that I just created, that I copy from my GitHub, the joke Vue. Okay, let's save it. And here I have a mistake. Okay, I have a misspelling of the file itself. It's good that you see all the mistake that I'm doing also, so you will know how to view and fix it. So I just have had to rename the file, that's it. So once I save, refresh, and basically, okay, I forgot to add it to the app Vue. I'm sorry, I forgot to add the route itself. The component's already there, I just need the route, the link. Basically, I created the route, I just need the link itself. That's it. Here I have the link, let's press here. And bam, I have the component of generating that joke a day. As you can see, the Vue.js 3, it's also make it look beautiful also on mobile. But right now, when I did the request, I'm basically have an error because I'm missing the token itself. So now I'm gonna show you how you can basically interact with local environment in order to help your Vue.js use token or other environment variable that you need. So when you're using Vue.js with Vite, this is how you want to call your variable. You need to start with a prefix of Vite and then the name of the variable itself. So I'm going to go now to ChatGPT and I'm going to get the token. I'm doing it very, very fast because I already show on other video how to interact with the OpenAPI ChatGPT and all the things that it's responsible to that. Okay, and this is where basically our Vue.js app will take the token itself. Okay, I'm doing it like this and I'm not pasting it because then we need to upload it to AWS Amplify. Okay, so it needs to be very robust. And this is the prompt that I'm using in order to generate the request. Okay, I'm basically training the AI model how to answer the question. And if you don't know how to interact with ChatGPT or OpenAPI, I created a few videos back then. You can go to my YouTube channel and check. Very, very simple. Okay, so now we install the token, we install the component of that joke, and the last thing that we have to do right now is just testing. So let's test the feature. Let me increase the presentation. That's it, guys. Why did Apple go to school? Because we wanted to become a smart coder. Okay, guys, as you can see, it's a dead joke generator. Very, very funny. You can play with it, you can change it, you can do whatever you want, but we have the basic of web app that we can upload and enjoy and share with our friend and family, and also have a good experience of how to interact with front end and also with DevOps as AWS. So now we basically have everything we need. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna make it a dead joke and I'm remove all the other route that we have. So we don't need the home and we don't need the about. So I will copy this there. Okay, and I will remove it from here, from the route, because I don't need to load those stuff. Let's do that and remove this thing. That's it. Also, this bad boy we don't need. And voila, when I'm going here, now this route does not exist, but the home route exists and it's loading our dead joke. It means everything working perfectly. So we finished the first step of our tutorial. Now what we need to do is push to GitHub. And I'm gonna show it to you how to do it in like few seconds. Okay, before we actually upload into AWS Amplify, we want to push it to GitHub, because with GitHub we can then automatically do CI/CD to AWS Amplify. Okay, when I say CI/CD, I mean continue integrate and continue deployment. Okay, so I'm just creating regular repository on my GitHub. This is why I said you need to have a GitHub account. And I'm going to show you how you can push your web app basically to GitHub in few steps in like less than 1 minute. Okay, first of all, we need to create a repository. I created the joke repository. And next we need to run all the comment that we have there. So we need to do git add, and also do git commit, and then add the remote and push it. Okay. Now what we want to do, we don't want to push our variable to GitHub, right? So we need to use git ignore in order for it to ignore the environment file. So we're doing star dot, and maybe we're gonna have other env file. So we're doing star. Okay, that's it. Let's open a new tab. Let's do clear. Let's do status. So we don't even have git repository, so we're gonna do git init. That's it. We created a git repository with a default master branch. Okay, so now we have basically all the project to upload. Now let's run npm run format. Basically, it's not needed to use it, but I just added to the package. Maybe you guys give you more inspiration of other stuff that you can do with Git, and other stuff you can do with npm. Okay, let's add everything. Let's do commit. Master my first Vue.js, that joke. Web app. Very simple, guys. I told you, less than a few minutes. Okay, so we did everything, but before I'm doing git push, I need to add the remote branch. Don't forget it. After you're doing the remote branch, you can do git push. So I did this, I did commit, the branch is already created, so I just need to do git remote. And finally, git push u origin master, because this is the name of the branch. Okay, let's refresh our GitHub, and bam! We have our web app, that joke, in GitHub. We finished step number 2. So perfect. Now we want to upload everything to the cloud. Okay, we want to upload to AWS Amplify. This is why you guys are here. And I'm going to show you how simple it is and how fast it is. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to AWS, you're going to open AWS Amplify. Okay, I already have a project here, but I'm going to create another new project to guide you from the beginning what to do. So let's do new app, and I'm going to use host web app. Okay, now this is what I told you can choose Bitbucket, GitLab, AWS Code Commit. You can also upload file, but I'm going to use GitHub because it's easier to control and manage version. Now, because I already connect my GitHub to AWS, I already authorize it. So what it will require for you, it will require you to authorize your GitHub, and then you will be able to connect your repository and then the branch. Okay, so if you're not seeing this screen, it means that you first need to authorize GitHub for AWS, and then you will be able to go through this screen. Next, after we connect the master branch and the repository, we're going through the app build. Basically, what AWS Amplify doing in the backend is basically creating an image and deploy the image to their server. Okay, and this is basically the command to create the image, and we have the option to control it and run our own command, right? We have the pre-build, we have the build, we also have test. I'm not going to use the test, and basically it will show you how everything works. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to add to the pre-build, to the build, the comment of echoing the environment variable. Okay, and I'm going to show you also how you can add variable to your AWS Amplify. So I'm using this way to echo the environment variable of ChatGPT token. By the way, don't do this way. Okay, I'm just showing you in this example because if you're gonna do it that way, it will be visible in front end, and you don't want to do it on production. I'm just showing you how to use the environment variable and also showing you the web app how it works. and there is other way to store a secret in AWS. So after we review, we created the app. It's take few seconds, and that's it, guys. That's it. Now it's gonna start the process of deploying our GitHub web app to the cloud, to AWS Amplify. But here I'm gonna show you basically two ways to keep updating your AWS Amplify. There is through GitHub when you're always pushing to master branch, and there is also webhook. Okay, so I'm going to show you twice, two-way. So basically this project won't be able to deploy because it will crash right now. Not crash, but it's going to have a error. And then I'm going to show you basically how to review the error and what you need to do. And then we're going to have another error, and I will show you again how to review it, that eventually you will control everything. So basically the first error, it's the same error. We have issue with our environment variable, right? I'm doing echo, but the environment variable even not existing. So I need to go and create the environment variable in order for my web app to actually be able to send requests to OpenAI. So this is the error, as you can see in the front end CMD style. So I'm gonna go now to environment variable, and I'm gonna create the environment variable. Again, it's not recommended to use secret this way. I'm just showing you basically how to use AWS Amplify, okay? But don't do it if you have secret in production. It's not a way. So right now I'm gonna create the token of OpenAI, and I'm gonna do save. Let's save it. Okay, perfect. We saved the environment variable, and now basically we need to trigger the deployment process again, so it will deploy to the cloud. Okay, to AWS Amplify. Now, as I told you a few minutes ago, there is two ways to initiate the triggers. The first way is to use the build setting and create incoming webhooks. Okay, I will show you next how to use that. And the most default way, the one that you already know, we just need to push a new commit to GitHub master, and then basically it will run a trigger to AWS Amplify because it's already connected. So using AWS Amplify, it's making your life very easier and very simple. You don't need to define CI/CD by yourself. You don't need to define the pipeline. You can just created for you. All you need to do is you just need to deploy. That's it. You need to find the fix that you need to do. You need to fix it. You need to push, and AWS in the backend together with GitHub will initiate the deployment by itself. So once I did the push, you're gonna see in a few seconds, I'm gonna go to the root app, and that's it. It starts, as you can see, it starts again the deployment process. So it's doing again the provision, it's finished that, and then it's trying to do the build. But again, it will fail because I have one more thing that I need to fix. Okay, in my backend, in order for it to work. I'm just showing you, I didn't cut it, I'm showing you this way so you will know how to review bugs that you have and how to fix them. So basically my original bug was that I'm doing echo instead of echo. And as you can see, I'm doing EHCO instead of ECHO. That's it, this is why it didn't work. So now I'm gonna save it. And this time I'm gonna use another way to create incoming webhook. Okay, I'm gonna use the webhook option in order to trigger the AWS Amplify deployment. So what you need to do, you can copy the URL, or you can copy the command. Go to a terminal. It can be inside your another app that you have. It can be in Zapier or Make, and just press enter. That's it. And now I'm gonna go to again that joke. As you can see, it started the provisioning again, it finished that, now it's gonna go to the build, it finished the build, and it finished the deploy. That's it, it's perfect. It's meaning a few more seconds, you're gonna see your web app in AWS Amplify, and as you can see right now, you have deployed your web app Vue.js to AWS Amplify. How simple it was, very easy, very straightforward. You don't need to think too much, don't need to have DevOps experience to make it happen. And as you can see, everything is working. The ChatGPT or the OpenAI token is working, is generating you that joke in AWS Amplify. Very simple. And next step we're gonna put define domain name, so it's not gonna be under AWS Amplify URL, it will be under our domain. So let's save it. Okay, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna go to domain management and then you're gonna add a domain. Okay, I already have a domain from other project that I'm doing, so I'm gonna use this domain. But you can use, you can create a domain, you can use other domain that you have. Because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the subdomain. Okay, we have the main domain. I'm gonna exclude it. I don't wanna use it because it's already been used for something else. And I'm gonna use the subdomain. Okay, and I'm telling that joke. And basically in the backend, AWS will now provision me a certification, SSL certification, and also a DNS CNAME record that I need to install in my domain register. Okay, so this is what I need to do. Now, because I already did a similar project before, it's basically will show me now that it's already verified. Okay, but this is exactly what you guys need to do. Okay, you need to copy this command in here. As you can see, it's already told me that it's configured because I already did something similar before. But you need to copy the DNS record and put it as a CNAME in your domain register. Okay, right here, this is the value. So as you can see, I already created those two. Okay, this is exactly what you need to do, and after a few minutes it will verify it. It's very, very simple. So next step after you're doing this, it will provide you also the cloud front. Basically in the backend, what AWS Amplify do is creating a cloud front CDN that connecting to your AWS Amplify. So you're going to view DNS record, and this is what the last thing that you need to do. You need to do a CNAME between your subdomain and AWS CloudFront. And once you're doing that, basically after a few minutes, you're gonna have your web app under your subdomain. Okay, it's taking, again, it's always taking a few minutes for the backend of the register, of the CNAME register, to process everything. Okay, that's it, it's update. But now we're gonna wait. As I said, if I'm gonna go now to my web app, it's still, let me go here. Okay, it's still not defined. It's take like between 5 to 10 minutes and it's gonna work. So let's wait a few more minutes, and while we are waiting for it to work and basically to configure in the backend, let's go and review all the other things AWS Amplify have. So we went to the domain management, and we have also the build setting. Build setting is, as I said at the beginning, where you define all the build stage. Next, you have preview. Let's say you have a pull request and you want to preview how it looked like before you actually merge it to your branch. This is where you can do it. Next, you have notification. This is where you can get emails about your AWS Amplify status. Where you can environment variable, where you can define environment variable, but don't define here secret. Okay, this is ideally just for the example. Access control, I don't know exactly what it is. Monitoring is where you can find how many people visit your URL, how many requests, data transfer, how many error you have, and stuff like that. It's giving you basically everything you need to run your own web application in the cloud, right? It's giving you monitoring, everything is connected in one point instead of you define everything separately. So that's why I like it so much. It's very easy for beginner to start with. And here you can define rewrite and redirection rule, and also custom header if you have to. I didn't use all of those there. So now let's see if our web app have been defined under the subdomain of that joke. Let's see, it seems like it's still verifying, but I have a feeling that it's working. And that's it, guys. That joke is now have his own subdomain under my domain. It's not related to AWS Amplify, as you can see. And this is how you can upload, create and launch your own web application and push it to AWS Amplify. Very easy, very simple, very straightforward. That's it, guys. I know you love it. I know it was very easy for you to do it, and I know you want me to keep publishing more tutorials. So please like, subscribe, and keep following because I'm gonna have much more tutorial to share with you very soon.